And he pulled too soon. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. This is a quick training video with a couple add-ons that we recommend for the trials. I've got Jay here with me tonight. He's going to kind of help us along with some of these, seeing that I don't really know that much
Hey
about setting them
guys.
up. So first off, I'll go in, and first one we're going to look at today is going to be, first of all, which one are we doing first, Jay? Raid notifier?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Okay, so raid notifier. If you download it, it's gonna require a couple of the libraries here, so make sure you get those. As always, recommend that you use Minion for your add-ons. Works great. So I'll go into settings, into my add-ons, down to raid notifier. Okay, so lots of customization available. A lot of this is, I think, on default right now, I believe. Do you know offhand, Jay, if this works? The turn off the vanity pets and turn off assistants?
Yeah, it should work
Okay.
as I believe it's updated right now. I
Yeah.
just used it the other day and it seemed to work.
Yeah. Okay. And is this a typo or is there actually a dislay name?
That's a
Dislay.
yeah,
Let's
it's a
kill them. We're
typo.
gonna dislay them. Okay. All right. So pretty much, you can just take a look at it and you can customize it for your own use. As you go down, though, got your trials. So it's got all the different trials. Close Cloud Rest for now. Does it have what's the, what's that new trial we just
So
came
it
out?
does not have Kind's Aegis.
That's the one.
That is
Yeah.
the one thing that you will have to kind of look up some guides online because this add-on has not yet been updated for that. It has seen several updates, but it just hasn't included that new trial.
All right. Good to know. So, um, the one that we've been working on the most right now for trials, though, has been Cloud Rest. And as a few of us realized the other day, some of the stuff that we need is actually off by default. So people actually had Raid Notifier downloaded, but they didn't know that about these settings here per se. And I think half our group didn't have Hoarfrost turned on because by default that was off. So just kind of go through some of these. You can either have it on all or self. Do whatever you're comfortable with. If be selfish if you want, because the tanks, like the lead, typically will have it on all anyway to call out when need be.
Yeah, I recommend that you have everything turned on, and if you're not a raid lead, they can all be self unless you choose to run portals. If you run portals, then I recommend at least turning Horrorfrost to all. That way you can tell if your portal team members are bringing Horrorfrost out of the portal or not.
Yeah, that's a good call on that one. The reason I like to have it on all as well is I'll know who has it, just you know so you can actually talk to them, say, hey, drop it to the left, I'm here ready for it, sort of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. So as you see, Roaring Flame. Actually, that's another one. I kind of like to have it on all, so you know who it's on. Now that I
Yeah,
think
you know
about
where
it.
to stack if
Yeah.
you see a name, and you
Yeah.
can tell where they're going to stand.
Yeah. And if it's your kite healer, you know that, yeah, they're gonna have to come to you or die. So you're either gonna be resing them or you're gonna be having to stack with them. So um, yeah, that's where the +3 gets pretty tricky sometimes, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can always get tricky with any of the mechanics.
Yeah. That is true. Okay. So anyway, so this is one that will be using a lot in our cloud dress progression group, and good to have it on even on the normal runs though.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's one thing to note, just real quick though.
Yeah.
There is a countdown drop down. If
Oh.
you select that, if you are someone who wants a little bit more heads up or a little bit longer of a notifier, you can change this as well, and you can also use different colors. So that'll tell you like if it's approaching the zero countdown, it'll turn red, for example.
Where's that?
It's in Rate Notifier. If
Oh,
you scroll above the trials,
oh, scroll up that or up down. Yeah.
yeah, it's called countdowns.
Ah, okay.
So, for example, if you turn use colors on, it'll start with yellow and then go orange and then go red the further or the closer it gets to zero. And you can kind of change the timing of it if you need be. That's a little more advanced if you're
hmm.
comfortable with that. It is helpful.
Oh, countdowns. Here we go. Sorry, I'm just a little slow today, like usual. Okay, gotcha. Timer precise. So, okay, so
Really, the thing I
yeah,
recommend for people who don't want to adjust any of that is just turn colors on. It'll start at yellow and then go orange and then go red. And if you see it go red, this is the text on your screen, by the way.
yeah.
The notification pops up for the mechanic. If it turns red, you know it's going to happen right then, like within the next second or
Okay.
less.
So when it's talking about blocking and stuff like that, it'll kind of
Exactly. Yep.
okay, perfect. Ah, good. See, even I didn't know that one. That's why I have Jay here. Okay, so anything else on Raid Notifier, Jay?
I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, you need to go through every trial and kind of set your defaults to what you like, depending on your role and whatnot. But yeah, it's very helpful to be able to go in and change things on and off with a quick click.
Yeah. And I guess kind of very similar things with some of these other ones, eh?
Yeah, the other trials listed have
Yeah,
their own specific types of settings, but
yeah.
they're all still very helpful. Personally, since I raid lead, I turn everything on and I just get a good view of what's happening for the group. So if you're someone who wants to do that, even if you don't lead, it's really good to see the battlefield from a holistic perspective. So I recommend it, but it is a bit much for some people popping up all the time. So I understand that too.
Well, it pops up and I don't even see it. So, um, yeah. Okay, so next up, player role indicator. It's one that we've been recommending for a while. Because what it does is it really helps you find your tanks, your healers, your dead people. Um, Once again, you can customize sizings and all that. So notifications. Not sure if there's any special settings you want to sort of say in here, but you can turn the icons on or off. You can set what they are, what they look like. But by default, a lot of this is turned off. So you're going to have to go in here and actually turn quite a bit of it on. So you definitely want to have your tanks turned on. Your healers need to be turned on. You can set your color for your dead tank and healer. So you want that on for sure. Um, I don't bother having it on my damage dealers because basically, if they're not a tank or a healer, they're obviously a damage dealer. Um, but you want to have them on. See that right here, show icon above alive damage dealers is off. But as soon as they die, they'll die and they go per or pink or whatever the color that is. So that I find is extremely helpful. And Shadow of the Fallen. So this is the huge one here. So Jay, I want you to explain that one a little bit better than me.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if you're doing Cloud Rest on veteran mode, you will have to kill a shadow of whoever has fallen. So when they die, above their corpse will be like a ghost apparition, and it needs to be damaged down until it's dead before you can res. So this is a great little bit of add-on that will kind of tell you, hey, this person still has a shade up. So don't try to res them, because if you do before that shade is brought down, you'll actually get damaged quite heavily and probably die. So we'll have two dead people and two shades. So if you have this add-on, you can tell who needs to be targeted to DPS down, and you can change the color to whatever you like, but it does still show you when the shade is up, and that's the important bit. So if that shade is up, don't even attempt resing. You need to burn it down, and then you can resurrect your teammate.
So I'm going to change my colors here. So color of icon while the shade is alive. So as long as it's red, that means I do not res, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And then as soon as they're safe, they'll go back to their default color. So if they have their default color, they would be good to res.
Yep, and
Okay.
that's why I recommend you kind of changing that to something that's unique.
Yeah.
Because each role, if you do want to go in and change this, each role will have its own kind of color coordination, and then the shadow of the fallen applies to all roles, and it should have a fourth color option. Just so you know, if you get it in Cloud Rest, it doesn't really matter who's dead. You still got to kill the shade.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So like once again, this is you can use this for any aspect of the game, but definitely it's one of those what we feel is a must-have for the trials, especially for our progression vet cloud rest.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And then just another one I like to use if you haven't already got it, action duration reminder. Uh, it's pretty basic once you have it loaded on, but what it does is it's going to time your abilities. All right, so once I drop that, I can swap my bar, and I know when I need to go back to my back bar and reapply any of the abilities that I'm running. When it gets down, you can set when it pops up. I have it set for 3 seconds. At the 3 second mark, it'll start to warn me that I need to look at getting onto my other bar. So every ability, as you can see in the screen, is going to have a timer. So it really helps a lot, especially when you're first starting out, just to know like, oh, do I need to drop my AOE's? Good for healers, good for tanks. So I guess that means it's good for everyone. Um, yeah. So any thoughts on that one, Jay? Besides what I said, or
I think you pretty much nailed it. It's good for
yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
I think one of the best things, obviously, this helps DPS improve your damage through your rotation. But the biggest thing is if you have any type of heal over time, this is going to tell you when it drops. So, especially if you're a healer or if you're just helping with heals in any way and you're using any kind of heal over time, this will tell you how long it's going to last. And so that you can re up quickly if it's one of those prolonged fights where you need to constantly be healing. Instead of just spamming it, you can just wait till it hits 0 and hit it again. It does save a lot on your resources.
yeah. That was the one thing I noticed a lot too. And also, there's some abilities actually do their most damage at the end of the ability. So you don't want to be hitting it and canceling out the the best part of your damage.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're better off actually letting it totally run out and then swapping over and reapplying. But anyhow, that's three of the add-ons that we feel are very helpful for the trials. If you have any questions, obviously you can let us know, and this will be posted up on our Discord. And thanks everyone for watching, and thanks Jay for your help.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Let's see you on the field.